Hi guys, it's me again. I'm not sure if you're feeling this, but I'm feeling this big time. Huge shift, uh increased energy influx the last couple of, like, I would say a week, but I have been sleeping since Friday, so I have no idea. I needed so much rest, so much alone time, so much integration time, meditation time. Like, even music sometimes is just way too loud and too stressful for me. So I needed a lot of rest and sleep and just integrating and sitting, and like I haven't been feeling able to do anything besides some stretching and drinking lots of water. So I'm sure a lot of you are feeling the same way in some kind or another. Symptoms were headaches, especially the last 2 days. I don't know if you checked the Schumann resonance, but it was incredibly high once more after a few days of calm, actually. And I've done a video about the where I talked a little bit about the ancestral healing, ancestral wounds coming up once more. A lot of things where we felt like we healed already, where we've done the work already, has been coming up once again. And it's quite frustrating sometimes, right, when we think we've done so much. But the truth is, a lot of times things come up for us to look at, and we try to fix things with the mind, or we even felt a lot of things, and then it comes up one more time and we see another perspective or another angle where we maybe haven't felt it all, but we try to kind of fix it or make it right or live with it. And in fact, it has been something that had to come up once more because it's important for us to release it fully. And also a lot of things where we have been controlled psychically through really old patterns, old belief systems from this lifetime, from early on, but also from past lives, where we haven't been free yet. And truth of the matter is that we are here as well to liberate ourselves. Part of our purpose is to liberate ourselves, and by feeling and alchemizing and transforming what kept us prison. So the belief systems, the structures, the systems, the beliefs around the system, belief around not being good enough, not being worthy, not being able to be independent and free and liberated, not being able to take care of ourselves, not be able to be sufficient on our own, not being able to believe in our own talents, abilities, gifts, as well as independence and the capacity to break free of all of that. It's huge programming, huge psychic war, some people would say, and a lot of egoic mindsets, where we also try to fit in by playing certain roles, by being put in a box by others to label ourselves, to like we see where we've been where our truth has been rejected and denied by others, where others labeled us and put us in boxes, but also where we deliberately jumped into boxes and were these labels to fit in, to just survive, basically, to to sorry, I burped. Sorry, sometimes I just slip in my performance. Where we also put on these labels and jumped into these boxes to just basically survive and fit in, and like where it seemed also like not possible at all to break free, or to even like slightly believe in a different kind of life. And I personally find it frustrating quite often, even though I try to see the bigger picture and have a higher mindset about that. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of times I haven't felt fully the grief of where I gave away my power, where I didn't believe in my talents, where others wouldn't see or even deny my talents and gifts and abilities, where I wasn't whole as a child, where I wasn't heard and seen as a child, as a teenager, still today, still as an adult, and where, because of that, I didn't see myself capable of walking a path of independence and self-sufficiency, right? If you are trying to or like if you haven't been seen basically all your life and you try to break free, and it's like super scary because you haven't only were denied of your talents and abilities in this lifetime, but also in other lifetimes, it is a huge program and takes sometimes seemingly time to heal all of that. Try to not compare your journey to others. I know it's so difficult sometimes, just because we look around and everyone seems to be like easily living their lives, or at least like putting in physical work. Of course, people are working hard for their success. I'm not denying any of that, but they probably haven't been psychically attacked like some of us starseeds or light workers, empath and highly intuitives, because of our great power, right? So seeing that we are on a different path, and not trying to compare ourselves, can be really healing. What was it? Not trying to compare ourselves, and also to, oh, give me a second, this energy is like sitting on my brain. Purpose, path, success, ego. Yeah, it's quite difficult in this physical world sometimes to forget that we are not all these labels, and we are not all these boxes, no matter in which direction, right? We are not the boxes where people try to keep us to tell us we're small and little and unable and codependent, and where we obviously believed, just because we had to survive and we wanted love and affection, and we believed all that. At some point there's this time when we have to start questioning all these belief systems and start dissolving them in a productive manner that starts with feeling all of it. And it's a lot, and it's heavy, and it looks really dark, But this is the agenda, and this is the matrix basically, and all of that, like, is not us, you know. It's the control system, and it's the darkness trying to suppress light. Remember that you are nothing of what people call you, all these labels to belittle you, as well as these success stories of people where they broke out of their prison and became very successful, and today they are whatever and have whatever kind of income. And it's really important sometimes to remember that we are not these, that our soul goes beyond our success in the physical world, and we are attached to it because it gives us stability and safety. And we grew up in, many of us grew up in an environment and a society and a world where we learn to believe the egoic mind and fear programming of I always have to be productive, I always have to be working, I have to be thriving, I have to constantly be hustling. If I'm resting, if I'm sleeping, I'm lazy, I'm a lazy person, I'm going to not have everything, like all of my needs met. And I want to remind us that this is still definitely the truth for a lot of countries, right? For a lot of people, they are dependent on income from a minimum wage because there's nothing else for them to work. This is part that is fact. However, in those countries where it's not the case, that we need to constantly suffer, be productive, or work and hustle, it's also us understanding that new energy for us collectively to move into new energies as well, if that makes sense. And we were dependent on a lot, our parents basically were dependent on that mindset for a really long time to build up the country after war, to be able to survive. And thanks to them, many of us live quite comfortably, right? Comfortable. And times are changing where we are currently healing, my generation, younger generations are currently healing this productivity trauma. And we come more back to living in the present. Doesn't mean you deny your future, or deny the fact that you need certain things to survive, right? It's not about not having an income or not being able to care for your needs, because it's also really empowering when you're able to be independent, right? It's just more about finding that balance of understanding who I'm working for and what I'm working for and what is work for me and what is productivity for me, because it's a really personal thing. And it has little to do with selling my soul and working my ass off for approval, for feeling okay as a human being, because if I'm not working, there must be something wrong with me, and so on, right? All these mindsets that actually have nothing to do with productivity, because productivity has a lot to do with resting, a lot to do with meditation, sleeping, resting, integration work. It has a lot to do with knowing where we're actually moving towards, right? It has a lot to do with sitting down with myself, reflecting on my life, taking breaks, enjoying certain things after I worked, being able to afford certain things that are important to me. It doesn't mean I have to be able to afford everything in this freaking universe, and haven't asked myself once if I'm actually interested in owning a house or owning 3 cars or owning a yard or owning I don't know, like 5 phones or whatever. And if I actually need all of these things, or if it's possible to figure out what's actually for me, and maybe starting to be more productive in a sense that where I know where I put my energy to. So these are one of the things that we might learn at the moment. It's not really a good time to make big steps and movement, just because it's so intense. You might have been anxious as well. I feel a little anxious, more anxious than usual. I feel more anxious since things have been opening up again, which is confusing because I haven't been out, or I haven't been like to dinner or anything. I haven't been shopping or anything. I just sense even the supermarkets are not more crowded, but it feels like things are opening up, and I feel anxious about it. And I haven't been feeling anxious in a while. But that might be one of the things you're currently experiencing, and it's not really a good time to make big moves or big decisions, especially during Mercury retrograde, which is life goes on, you know, like you can't stop life just because Mercury retrograde 4 times a year or 3 times a year or whatever. It's just the energy of like pause. The world is on pause, and I think we have to respect that, to go with the flow and to go with like the cycle and the seasons a little bit. But we can always work with the energy by doing the work, by going within, by doing the integration work or the shadow work, or we can still do our meditation practice, our yoga practice. We can still say, wow, I feel like drinking much more water and being more healthy, or being on a different diet, or whatever it is for you. It's like a very intuitive and personal thing. But we can still work with the cycle, right? We can still work with yes, sleeping more, resting more, or doing a little less eventually if possible, and allow ourselves to do that integration work, which is really, really important, and sacred work as well. Yeah, a little energy update. I hope that was helpful for you guys. I'm in there with you if you're feeling these energies and these shifts. It's a ride as always. I don't think it's ending really. Like, I don't think there's an ending to healing and ascension and awakening, because like, yeah, then we could just die or go somewhere else. Anyway, I sent you so much love. Thank you so much for watching, if you've been watching. And bye for today. Bye.